Hey y'all, it's Zach. Thanks for dropping by the garden today. I'm the Gulf Coast gardener here in Mobile, Alabama. And today I want to work in the moon garden and I want to get some caladiums planted. Now, caladiums in the South are a must. The more humid, the more hot it is, the bigger they get, the more beautiful they are. There are a few different varieties though, and some of them tend to go dormant when it gets too hot. So you want to make sure you're getting the more tolerant types. This is the second year I have picked them up from the Mobile Botanical Gardens master plant sale. And I buy them for about $1 a piece. It's like a bag of 10 for $10. And I picked up 100 of them and we're going to put them in the moon garden. So come along with me as we get these caladiums planted. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two, and maybe you can put something in the comments for me to learn. It's definitely a beautiful spring day here in Mobile, Alabama. It's in the mid to upper 70s with a high into the lower 80s. Partly cloudy skies with a nice breeze. Our espalier pear is leafing out beautifully. And we'll be working right here in the moon garden. You can see the heuchera is really becoming beautiful. Loving her. So we're gonna pack these out pretty tight. So these are the Moonlight caladiums. And they can be very difficult to decide which end goes down. But this is the top, this is the bottom. Monty Don says to mix them up and throw them out. And that's how you get a very natural look. So I shall do that. Cool. Let's do it again. These only want to go about 2 inches down, so not very deep at all. You do not want to plant these if there's any cold on the forecast. They like to be hot. I'm almost worried with the amount of leaves I have in here, I might lose some of these starts. And they'll be able to push through these leaves just fine. I just don't want to lose them before they're planted into the ground. So again, only going 2 inches down, putting the fuzzies to the top, so it's almost like a bowl. One year I came through and planted them all upside down. They still came up. These are dewberries that come up in my garden, very weedy. They're in the blackberry family. They are just all over this garden and I weed them every year. I'd definitely say that I'm winning the battle. This is wood sorrel. People eat this. This is our oxalaris that I love. And this is our Georgia peach heuchera. Here is our Ellen Poe hydrangea that has buds on it. And these are laurel oaks, which is amazing how good they are at seeding themselves. So I know we were trying to go for the Monty Don kind of natural vibe, but there's too many leaves here. I don't want to lose them. So instead, I'm just spacing them in window panes about a foot apart from each other, trying to get at least 4 to 5 between each heuchera. Putting them pointy sides up. this is a really good way you can see this is the growth and this is the base. Someone told me once, think of it as a bowl. So this one could be complicated because you really don't see anything, but this is the bowl, where the bowl will sit flat, like that. I'll put one here, yes I did. So just right here. There we go. So now we jump over here. This is a native, I believe, Dichondra ripens. Doesn't that look familiar? Looks just like the Dichondra Silver Falls. Same family, this one's just green. So I'm letting it overtake my backyard because the grass doesn't grow back here because of my septic field, my dogs, and my shade. The grass has nothing going for it. So if we could have the ground cover of Dichondra, please and thank you. Now coming up in here in this bed is some also Diamond Mountain Euphorbia. Those are always beautiful. Go back just a little bit here since this is kind of the bulk. So there we are, we got those planted and I ended up with 6 moonlights left. But do not fret, because I have, should be 40 or 20. I don't know if there's 5 in here or if there's 10 in here, but this is Fannie Munson. And they said these were last year's, but they said they'll still germinate fine. The 5 that I'm left with, or the 6 that I'm left with of Moonlight are the smallest. I planted the biggest. This one is the tiniest. This one's probably the largest. Let's look at the Fannie Munson. The Fannie Munson I'll have to look up, but I'm pretty sure it's like a red speckled. But we're gonna mix it with the Moonlight and we're gonna sprinkle them over the patio area. Okay, so these definitely look a little bit more desiccated. I'm not actually super hopeful about these. They're very dried. Maybe they'll soak up water beautifully. I don't know. Well, we won't be on anything but our time. So yes, this is a mix of Fannie Munson and a handful of Moonlight caladiums. So here we are in one of my last beds that I really need to work on renovating. This gets filtered part sun. There is a redbud tree here, roses here, that struggle, and a camellia in the back with Dawn's redwood all the way in the back. In the very, very back is a little tortoise habitat. Right here, I had tried to direct seed some California bluebells. Nothing came up. It's been a few weeks now. It's been like a month or two. So we're gonna go ahead and plant these caladiums all in this spot right here. And we're gonna make this quick business. Now, I normally wouldn't water bulbs in, but because these were kind of old and desiccated, I'm gonna give them a little bit of water. I didn't bring out the hose because I didn't want to drown them, but I wanted to give them a little nice even drink to say you're no longer living in a bag for 2 years. Ta-da! Well, you guys, I want you to think of caladiums almost like tulips. In northern gardens, people plant tulips and they expect them to come back, but not as strong, and they might fade over years. They're a sensitive perennial. And that's kind of how it is with the caladiums here in 9A coastal Alabama. There's a few varieties that come back without fail every year. Some even get a little bit bigger and stronger. Some of them slowly fade out over a few years. Maybe you'll get 3 to 5 years out of them, and some of them just don't come back at all. And the information available out there is very situation specific and not as reliable that I have found. So I am just trying different varieties as they become available to me at a good price. So this year we are doing the Fannie Munson and Moonlight. We did a big swoosh of Moonlight over the entire border of the moon garden. There's that shovel I was looking for. I was gonna do a trench method instead of the auger over there, but I couldn't find the shovel. I'm gonna go put it in the shed, I suppose, so that it's where it's supposed to be, so I can find it next time. I wanted to take a moment and show off this beautiful Japanese maple. This one's probably my favorite. It's called Jubilee, and I love this color and variegation. Right next to it, there's a peach foxglove. And then right behind it is a flowering maple. Let me walk over here. We have iris coming up, and we have Diamond Lake hosta coming there with more foxglove. This is a great one. Indigo Farah, filigree Japanese maple. Seedlings that we planted out of our Nights into Tobacco. Look at that. That is beautiful. I love how the lanterns just hang down like this. It's so beautiful. With more to come. You can see our little portals filling in nicely. Shishigashira here, or lion's head. One of my prized trees. Chocolate mimosa. And right here is the geisha gone wild, who's also giving us some flowers. Love when maples flower. The alyssum we just planted. Our orange osmanthus. I believe this is apricot echo. Well, we got the caladiums in the ground. That was fun. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that you can see them grow in and so I can answer any questions you might have over growing them. See y'all in the next one. Bye.